Alright guys, what's going on? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So, yeah, we're in my community tab right now, and as you can see, I put up a poll yesterday that says, do you trust Mark Rubin about his tweet about XDefiant having no plans of shutting down after Season 4? And there's 172 votes, which is pretty good for a channel of my size. And 75% of you say yes, and 25% of you say no. Now, before getting into this and reading a couple of the things that you guys have to say, because there's definitely some good points that you guys make that come from a place of logic and everything like that. So I kind of wanted to highlight that here because it is something that is definitely worth noting when it comes to XDefiant as well as the reality of things. But for really quickly, I wanted to say that I kind of actually feel for Mark Rubin in this case because he seems to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. And what I mean by that is he's dealing with us, the community, and everything that's coming with it, right? And on top of that, he has bosses, right? And I'm going to get into that a little bit more in just a second, but he's got bosses, so he's somewhere in the middle. And on top of that, he's obviously developing the game, and then he's dealing with all the shenanigans within the game and all that kind of stuff, right? So, yeah. And the thing is this, and the biggest reason, one of the biggest reasons why I'm willing to give Mark Rubin at least the benefit of the doubt whenever he says something is very simple. And I'm gonna explain it by asking you guys this question. And whether it's from work or outside of work, but let's just say for the sake of argument, if this was work related, have you guys ever been in a position at work that even if you were like, let's say someone who's like of higher value, right? Like for example, Mark Rubin is an executive producer, right? But at the end of the day, you know, compared to his Ubisoft bosses, you know, they're going to view him as someone who's basically a worker, pretty much like a dev, right? Pretty much it's the same stuff, right? So despite the fact of his position, right? Have you ever been in a position to where your boss pulled a bait and switch on you? Have you ever been in a position to where your boss lied to you? Or in a position to where your boss just basically changed their mind after telling you they're going to do something, but then they completely change their mind and they completely go in the other direction, no matter how many promises were given? Have you guys ever been in a position like that? And chances are, if you've been out there and if you've been working, regardless of whatever job you have, chances are the answer to that question is yes. For those of you guys that have not been in that position ever, consider yourself blessed, because quite frankly, within time, you're going to be learning very quickly that no matter how trustworthy a boss can seem, they will do whatever they have to do in order to make things better for them, even if that means, you know, pushing you to the side, so to speak. And that's putting it lightly. So Mark Rubin is not immune to this. You know, despite his position as being an executive producer, and no matter what his higher ups might say, there's definitely a chance that everything that he's saying is true from everything that he's been having with conversations behind the scenes with his bosses and stuff like that. But then if the boss were to change their minds and to do a bait and switch on him, guess what? What's going to happen is, like, it's going to make him look like an asshole and like a liar, even though that wasn't the case at all. So I'm just saying that could definitely be a possibility in the near future. So if XDefiant, let's just say in theory, does shut down by after Season 3 or after Season 4, guess what? It's going to make Mark Rubin look like a dick and a liar because his boss decided to change it up on him. But at the same time, in accordance with what you guys have to say is also true as well. So let's get into this. And I've had to say everything that I've had to say for the most part. So, all right. So here's what some of you guys had to say. I trust Mark Rubin saying that XDefiant has no plans of shutting down. I don't trust Ubisoft. However, if they add and make the change that they've discussed and more changes, the game will just continue to progress forward. All right, let's go on to the next one. We have, it makes sense because they have done zero marketing. That's the real push in capital. It seems like the whole first year is basically an open beta to get everything up to snuff and introduce enough factions, maps, and weapons. Also, Ubisoft has had lots of games to come out meh and have built a following slowly. Our Rainbow Six and For Honor, etc. Next up, we've got Mark Rubin isn't going to come out and publicly say the game is dying, laugh my ass off. And that's true. That's very true. He isn't also going to confirm when the game will shut down. Also true. If Ubisoft truly has plans to shut the game down, we won't know. They will just do it, and nothing Mark says can change that. At the end of the day, Mark Rubin is just PR for XDefiant. He is a Ubisoft employee and has no control over the game. This is also true. All right, let's see. We have a response here, and I'm going to put that. And it says, yeah, he can also make it crystal clear and that it's not dying. Why risk his credibility and word? Would you? I won't. If it's dying, I'll just shut the duck up and I won't make fake promises. bro respectfully replies to people who disrespect him and his team multiple times, not just once, but yet still gets the hate. What's going to happen if he blatantly lies and it does die? He's done everything the game, he's done every game, and that his name is straight up not going to launch because of all the hate he will get. Even companies won't hire him who wants to work with somebody like that. So yeah, that's my logical take, but I could be wrong. I guess we will see. That is true. We will see for sure. Next one, of course, Mark doesn't have plans to shut down XDefiant after Season 3 or Season 4. But Ubisoft, on the other hand, I believe they would shut down the game after Season 3 or 4 if they feel like the game isn't performing well in their eyes. Very true. Let's see. Next up, I could be wrong. I hope not. But if I was in Mark's position, if XDefiant, my game was dying or about to die, I won't publicly say it. It's absolutely not dying again and again and again, because if it dies, I will die along with my credibility, my word, my future. No one, no company, no game will work with me because I'll be a blatant liar. I don't see a dev like Mark doing something stupid like risking everything he did to please Ubisoft and to buy them a few more months. This is very true. To, I don't know, cash grab from players or whatever the case. So yes, I do trust him. I don't trust Ubisoft, but him I trust. For goodness sake, I am sick of all this drama. I just want this freaking game to survive so that way I can have fun, and that's all a brother wants. As simple as that. I'm not asking for too much. If it dies, then duck shooters for good. I'm too old for them anyways. That's my opinion since day one. Peace out. Very, very true. Lots of truth. See, whenever you look at both sides of this, there's lots of truth to be said from both sides, and it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. So let's continue. I do believe that statement. I think he's a good enough guy that instead of lying, he wouldn't just say anything or just tell the truth. I'm open to being wrong, though. I don't know him. Again, very true. This is somebody that you know from the internet. You know what I mean? That creates video games or whatnot. All right. Next up, respectfully, I don't know how much I can trust Ubisoft and XDefiant. The fact that XDefiant is even out and playable right now, to me, is a huge red flag. The game was clearly not complete when it launched, not even close. And they were okay with putting basically stop out to the public. If they were okay with that, then they're okay with lying to us. Ooh, now that is another interesting take. Lots of logic to be said here. So we have a response to this. Game launching unfinished was on Ubisoft or Ubishi. They always keep the big money. So they're bigger games that flop and flop and flop, and they keep doing it. And anyways, they have money until they don't. If you had the choice of taking a plan or the buzz to another country, you can take the plan. That's what the devs would have done. Choose the better engine, choose to finish and polish the game, add content, add modes, then release it, but they don't have the budget. They don't have a choice, do they? They're just trying to make a living like us, and aren't they? They're just trying to give us the game we all dream of, the perfect arcade shooter, aren't they? It's not up to the devs. It's Ubishi's fault if not the devs. If we want to blame anybody, we blame Ubisoft, not the devs. Don't trust Ubisoft. The devs, they're chill. They work their butts off, and they're trustworthy, in my opinion. See, this is what I love also. There's lots of passion when it comes to this. Like, any sort of negativity or positivity that involves XDefiant, man, oh man, does it come from a place of passion. And again, there's lots of logic to be had here. Next up, transparency is not a corporate policy. No, I don't. This is very true. This is like the shortest sentence in this entire thing that you see here, and this one really hits hard. Transparency is not corporate policy. No, I don't. Holy shit. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I said earlier. We're getting to the end here, guys. We're almost there. So, main selling point over 4 years ago, no skill-based matchmaking. After 10-month delay, well, it does have some, but only in the welcome playlist. Trust us, it's just the netcode, and sorry we didn't use the first-person servers. Laughable. A woke company gonna kill woke COD. Shake my head. It's a wrap-up for the game. Not even South Park faction couldn't save it after Season 4. 4 means death in Japanese. Oh man, see, like I said, lots of passion, and again, there's definitely some logic here. Let's see. Next up, to say XDefiant is trash means you were misled as a child. So full of hate. I couldn't help but like this when I read it because it really got a chuckle out of me. And there's a lot of XDefiant haters that really that really like are just riding the Call of Duty bandwagon or whatnot and just hating on XDefiant for no reason, or will find any reason and to try to like basically like make it huge. But well, they're hypocrites because, well, when you look at Call of Duty and what Call of Duty's done over the years, especially over the last 5 to 6 years, there's definitely a laundry list of reasons to hate on COD, right? So go figure. But anyway, guys, this is pretty much a very interesting comments over here, and I want to thank everybody here who that actually took the time to comment on this, and to everybody that voted, because 172 votes is quite a lot for a channel my size. Overall, it is a small sample size, but we're looking at basically a 3-to-1 ratio over here. You know, you got people that trust Mark Rubin and his word, and you got people that don't. But regardless of whatever your side you're on, right? Whatever side you're on, regardless, there's facts to be made here, and there's definitely facts to be made here. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all turns out. And yeah, I mean, when season 3 and the game gets through season 3, and if we get through season 4, and if we go beyond into year 2 and stuff like that, some of the comments are either going to age like fine wine or they're going to age like milk. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in that aspect. So with that being said, guys, if any of you guys want to give your points in the comment section down below, that'd be great. And as always, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch and or listen. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.